Hello, time travelers! You got a special treat in this one. I'm going to show you how to install the program that I use to make these pictures, like this one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Oh, and here's the video where I mentioned it before if you didn't see it already. But what was frustrating installing it was the instructions. People doing some of the steps out of order, or they were unclear about some things, or they were hard to understand. So this is me showing you what I figured out. And in case you want to install it to make pictures like this on your computer, maybe your computer has a GPU that can support it, or maybe you're just interested and you're a subscriber and you like watching the weird, cool stuff that I do. This is my look of disapproval. Hold on, it's future me here. I'll have to let you know about the requirements that you're gonna need before you try to install this. The first requirement that you need to be aware of is that you need an nVidia GPU, right here, with 4 gigs of VRAM or more. Integrated GPU will not work. That means one built into the CPU. And I read somewhere, sorry, I don't know where, but the 1060 and the 1650 don't seem to work. How you can check how much VRAM your GPU has is real easy. You just Google tech power up and then the model. So let's say you have a RTX 2060 and then load the tech power up page. It has 6 gigs, so it has enough. It has to have at least 4. Since it is future me, and I already have it installed, it's going to take about 30 gigs, and that's with only a couple of models downloaded and only a few images rendered. As it renders pictures, it fills up the hard drive. You're going to have to consider that you're going to have enough room on your drive in order to fit at least 30 gigs, plus if you're rendering a lot, you're going to need more. As you generate images, like I made a few pictures of Deadpool for some reason, they actually go into a folder somewhere and it never cleans up after itself. As kind of as a backup in case you need to get them. Because normally you go like this and choose a picture you like, right click it, and save image as, right? But they're also in a folder. So in your Stable Diffusion WebUI folder, go to Outputs. And these are going to be in the Text to Images folder, which is right here. And you see all the images I generated today. Like, there's Deadpool. And there's Naruto, kind of, for some reason. This one is Text to Images Grids, which is when it generates a bunch of images at the same time. That's the grid picture. See it? But as you continue to learn how to do more stuff in Stable Diffusion, there'll be different kinds of folders in here that you'll have to look into. Alright, step number 1. You make a folder for your AI stuff. If you're just going to install Stable Diffusion, make a folder, call it Stable Diffusion. I'm going to call it AI stuff. I already have this installed on my main editing rig. I'm installing it on one of my mining rigs because I'm not mining right now. So I can actually edit videos while generating stuff because it ties up your GPU. If you don't have accounts at the following 2 websites, make accounts, log in, and I'll have them linked in the descriptor what's huggingface.co and github.com. Jump cut. I just signed into both. It makes it easier for the following steps. Just trust me. Now you want to set up at least one of your web browsers to ask you where to download every time. You might want to do this in all your browsers, you might not. I like Firefox for certain things because it's less of a resource hog. That's why I use it for my AI stuff. So in Firefox, you hit Alt on the keyboard and then the letter T together, and then you see this, and you go to Settings, and you type Download. You'll see where it says Save Files to Downloads, that's the default, and make sure you check the box that says Always Ask You Where to Save Files. And in Chrome or Brave, I use Brave, you hit this little 3 lines button thing, they call it the hamburger, food addicts, and you hit Settings, search for Download, like so, scroll all the way down, see it right here, ask where to save each file before downloading, and you see it's also defaulting to the Downloads folder. But this is going to save you a lot of time and headache later. Another thing you want to do is in your File Explorer that you already have open, because you made the AI stuff folder, hold down Alt on the keyboard, and press V to show the view, then go over to Options, go to the View tab, and you want to uncheck Hide Extensions for Known File Types. I've also changed a few other things in here, geeky stuff, whatever. But this is important, and if you're going to be running AI stuff, you might as well get used to this setting now. What this does is it shows all the file extensions like .pdf, .mp3, or whatever. It doesn't hide them anymore, and you're going to need that because there's not going to be a way to differentiate between the different settings files and model files for Stable Diffusion later. Now the next step is to install Bash. Go to gitforwindows.org and go down and hit download. I don't have to download it because I already have it. Run it, and you're going to want to install it with all the default settings. You don't have to change any of this stuff. It's a billion screens, I know. You click next like infinity times. When it's done, uncheck that, hit finished. All right, new folder, Stable Diffusion. You don't have to create this folder. I am because I like it nestled away from my other AI stuff that I'm going to probably be installing on this computer later. Now let's go over to GitHub, and we're going to go in the search box and put this in. Automatic1111/stable-diffusion-webui. It's this one right there. And I'll just copy paste this and put this in my notes to stick in the descriptor what's it's, so you can just click that in the description thingy later. Click this little down arrow by the code, hit the little copy button next to the URL. Open your start menu and type bash. You see git bash, hit enter to open that. Now you got this bash window open, okay? You want to be in the folder where your Stable Diffusion is going to go. So I'm going to copy this to here, like so. Again, I just hit Alt-D to put the cursor up there, hit Control-C to copy it, Alt-Tab to go back, and I right-clicked and hit paste. I'm going to hit enter. Oops, I need to put CD at the beginning. CD. There, should look like that. Too many arguments. Oops. Quote. I should know what I'm doing. I've done this before. Alright. It's CD, space, quote, full path to the folder, end quote. And I ruined my copy paste. So I gotta copy this again. Sorry. And the command is this. git-clone, and then you paste it in. What that does is it clones all these folders and files to your hard drive or solid state drive or whatever you have going on, obviously. And if we go over here, you'll see that it created this folder and it put a bunch of stuff in there. Sweet. Now we need to install Python. Go to python.org. Downloads, Windows, and then you want Windows installer 64-bit. I'm not going to wait ages. I already have it downloaded from when I installed it on this computer. All right, let's run that. This is super important. This step is uber important. Check this box. It says add python.exe to path. What that does is it sets up a thing called an environment variable so that when Stable Diffusion runs, it's like, where's Python at? Windows be like, it's right here, bro. Otherwise, it'll ask Windows and be like, I don't know. What's a Python? And I hit custom, and I make sure they're all checked. I don't know why. Add Python environment bit variables. And I'm actually checking this one in case I log in as a different user. Hit install. Setup was successful. Sweet. Close that. And now, for the environment variables to actually work, we want to restart the computer. And so, Windows doesn't hang up. Close every freaking thing. And since we're doing geeky things, this is how you restart it with the command line. Shut up, Google Drive, you're not in this scene. So I'm restarted. What are we gonna do next? Shut up, Firefox! I don't need to import things. What you need to do is go into Stable Diffusion WebUI, or whatever folder you have it set up in, and look for webui.bat and run that. And that's going to install some things and also set up some folders that we need for later. Oh, it's like a colorful Christmas themed download screen. And just FYI, that's what it's downloading right now, PyTorch. So PyTorch is a fully featured framework for building deep learning models, which is a type of machine learning that's commonly used in applications like image recognition and language processing. And it's written in Python, which is the environment that we installed earlier. On nVidia, PyTorch supports PyCUDA, which lets developers access nVidia CUDA API, stands for Advanced Programming Interface, to make parallel GPU computation possible, stuff your CPU can't do. And this system is actually running with an AMD GPU. And you see 2 here because it was mining before, but that's the main GPU. Trust me, I've got another nVidia GPU I'm planning on throwing in there during the video. After about 5 minutes, your command line window will turn into a giant Christmas tree. But it's installing a whole bunch of different things. I'm glad I don't have to type commands for each one of those. Now for me, after about 10 minutes, it's downloading something that's about 4 gigs. I should walk away and do something else. Forever waiting. I just figured it out. It's installing one of the models. And probably if you download a model ahead of time, it won't do this. But that's fine. Alright, check it out. It's actually done. So it's running now. So I'm going to just show you how to run it real quick. I open up a new tab, copy paste this right here into your browser. I like to use Firefox because it's not a memory hog like all the Chrome ones. And look, now it's running and it has that model it downloaded. But I'm going to close that and I'm going to close this one and I'm going to update pip. And it's pretty easy. Go to your stable Diffusion WebUI folder, click in the address bar, erase everything out, put CMD and press enter. And what that does is it opens the command line window to that exact folder. And you're going to want to type python.exe space -m space pip space install space -- upgrade space pip and press enter. And it looks like this when it updates. And this one goes really quick. And it's done. Now we're going to download some more models. I've got this all linked in the descriptive what's-its for you down below. But on Hugging Face, we got the 1.4 original. We go down here, and you want the smaller one. So it's going to be the 1.4.ckpt. Remember earlier how I was telling you about you need to see the extensions of file names? That's going to help you know where these things go. And you go to your stable diffusion, then your WebUI folder, and then models, and then stable diffusion again, and then hit save. I'm going to hit Control J so I can keep an eye on it. 9 minutes left because that's 4 freaking gigabytes. If you hit stable diffusion in here, you also want the 1.5, and if you're feeling ambitious and you want to make higher res stuff, you're going to need the 2.1. So I'm opening those in new tabs. The 1.5, you want to scroll down and get the pruned one. Download that to the same folder. And I'm going to grab the 2.1, show you which one to get. Click right here where after it says V2-1768. Something you're going to get used to is that all of the 1.5 or older models, their images are 512 by 512 pixels. The 2.1 can go up to 768 by 768. It's not limited to just that, but it's trained on a square image, so it's just something you have to know. So 768 pruned, you hit this one, and then hit right here where it says download it, and hit save. I'm going to hit Control J again. And I found a trick to make stuff download quicker is to actually right-click these and hit pause, and let them download one at a time. Meanwhile, we need a file to make it so that Stable Diffusion doesn't crash when you try to load any of the 2.1 models. For example, here at civitai.com, Armada merge. It's another concept I'm showing you guys. The illusion diffusion, classic negative, all these. I'm not going to just fill your head with stuff, but they've merged different models into one so you can make more things with only having one model, which I'm totally behind. It's awesome, but it uses Stable Diffusion 2.1 768. So let's say I downloaded this one and I put it in this folder. Notice it says Safe Tensors. Models can be CKPT files or they could be .safetensors files. You just have to know what it is, and the quick rule of thumb is if it's a bunch of gigs, it's a model, not what they call a checkpoint or a LoRA. You'll find out in a minute what those are. You hit this down arrow and see if it's got a config file as well, and you put that in the same folder as the model file. You also want to go to this configs thing. See how it says YAML? Luckily, they provided their YAML with this one. but you still need a YAML for this one. So if you come across any 2.1 768 models that don't come with a YAML file, you need to go here and grab the one that says v2-inference-v.yaml and click it. Where's the download? How? What? All right, let's try this. You need to go here where it says v2-inference-v. Make sure it's the one with V, the letter V at the end. Right-click that, hit Save Link As, and now you have this. You put that in the same folder. Right-click, pause. Okay, now I'll pause this Armada merge, and when these are all downloaded, I'll come back to you and tell you what you need to do with that YAML so that Stable Diffusion knows that you're using it with the 2.1 768. All right, now that it's fully downloaded, I'm gonna hit this folder button so I can show it to you what we're gonna do. Click on the model checkpoint file, press F2 so that it selects the name without the extension, and hit Control-C to copy the name, and then find that YAML file that we got earlier, right here. Hit F2 on that, hit Control-V to paste. Now they're named the same, but they're different files, see? ckpt.yaml. Now there's one more thing you need to do if you want to run any of the 2.1 768 models. And then you go back to your Stable Diffusion WebUI folder and you right-click on webuser.bat and then hit Edit. Go right next to where it says Set Command Line Args Equals, and you need to type this in. It's going to change a couple settings. --xformers. Xformers, whatever the heck those are. I don't know what they are. --no-half. Hit Control-S to save it, and then close it. And then run it to see if it updates anything else for you. Installing Xformers, whatever the heck those are. And I think I got my I don't like your GPU error. Move on to that in a minute. I'm going to show you about a couple other things that you could download. I'll put this in the description. What's it? It's called Midjourney. So Midjourney is a super popular AI image generator, but it costs money. But Hugging Face is a free model you can download that is trained on some of the Midjourney stuff. And they've got two versions here. You can download both or just one. I used the LoRA version so that I could use some of the Midjourney prompts on any model. So I click the LoRA version. Now we're gonna go to Files and Versions, Midjourney LoRA.SafeTensors, and then click Download it. Now you notice I've already got a couple .SafeTensors files in my Models Stable Diffusion folder. SafeTensors can also be what's called a LoRA. According to Google, LoRA models are small Stable Diffusion models that apply tiny changes to standard checkpoint models. That's all you gotta know. Has nothing to do with the name of a person, LoRA. But you don't want to put it in that folder. You go back up to the Stable Diffusion WebUI folder, Models, LoRA. Save it there. And it's only 144 megabytes. They're considerably smaller. Here's another LoRA at Civet AI, thicker lines anime style. And this makes it easier to understand what a LoRA is. It's so that you can apply a style to any model. So again, I'm gonna download that. Make sure it's in my Models LoRA. Hit Save. And then there's a third type I'm going to tell you about. And this is called an embedding, and it works the same as a LoRA, as in you type a keyword to use it on any other model once it's installed. So see, like Midjourney LoRA, if I hit back again, you just have to type this in your prompt to get the Midjourney to work. So I recommend writing down in your notes somewhere. Thicker lines. This one doesn't say, so I'm gonna have to show you how to find it in Stable Diffusion once it's installed. Or you could just click on some of these and people will say what to do here. Look at it. You just copy paste this and put that in your notes. And what this is the actual command to pull that LoRA, and then the colon, and then the 1 means 100%. So if you only wanted like a 50% use of this style, you would put a colon 0.5. If you want 75%, 0.75. If you wanted 25, 0.25. Get it? Simple. Now for embeddings. You click the download, you go back to the Stable Diffusion Web UI folder, because it's not in the models. You put it in embeddings, style-empire, whatever, .pt files go in here. If you ever stumble across .bin files, and they're also called embeddings, they go in here too. Hit save, and then you hit these copy buttons, and you save them to your notes somewhere, because these are the trigger words to make that style go to the model you're using. In this case, they have a negative trigger word as well as a positive, and you'll see more about that when I show an example of how to run one of these. But a negative prompt basically means don't have this in the image. But sometimes these people, they're clever, they program in negative words to make the positive prompt come out even better. But I have to close all this down and shut it down. And here's the command to just shut down all the way. FST0. All right, let's go install that card. I know just what card I want to use. My 3080 Ti. So unplug all these riser thingy what's-its because I'm not mining. Come unplugged already. Toss. Click. Oh, I have to turn it around. Will the power button work for me this time? Something's wrong with this thing. Power button doesn't work. I just have to turn the power supply off. Unplug the power cable. Wait, like 30 seconds. Plug it back in, switch it back on. That's not going to bite me in the butt later in the future. Sarcasm. All right, I'm back. I've got the drivers installed and the computer rebooted one more time just to be sure. So I'm going back into my Stable Diffusion Web UI. Go down, I'm going to run my webui user.bat. And it says installing requirements for Web UI. It does not say installing xformers because they're already freaking installed. Now when you see this line, it's done. But don't drag your mouse on it like I just did because nothing will work. If you do click it once, hit enter so that it resumes. I'm gonna have to copy paste it again. Oops. Go back and hit enter just in case. And I'm gonna hit Control D to bookmark that. It says Stable Diffusion, good. Bookmarks toolbar, good. Alt V, show the toolbars, bookmarks toolbar, always show. Good. Hey guys, future me here. Thanks for watching this far. If you haven't clicked like yet, I mean, come on. It's been 20 minutes in, it's right there. Just click it, helps a lot. And subscribe to the channel and change the bell notification depending on how you want to be notified. And I was doing the editing and I realized this video was going to be too long if I showed you how to actually use Automatic1111. So I'm saving that for the next video. And also while in editing, I noticed some things that would make me frustrated while watching this video. So I went back and re-recorded audio. So if you hear my voice change up a little bit or something, that's why. But thanks for watching this video and sticking out to the end. Click here to subscribe and click over here to see a video that actually used AI to write called ChatGPT, and click here for whatever YouTube thinks is best. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you in the next video.